Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eat, Sleep, List. My name is Matt Johnson, your host, and today, for Mirror List Monday, we're going to be taking a look at some of the people who have helped us along the way, who've helped guide us, nurture us, and contribute to the people that we are. That's right, we are making the Life Teachers List. Let's get to work. So a few weeks ago, while I was getting my kid ready for bed and slowing down for the night, I got a phone call, which was really odd. And it was from a very good friend of mine. And I won't reveal the friend's name or the specific context of the phone call because I like that moment and those words to be private. But in a nutshell, it was a lot of positivity coming my way, a lot of compliments coming my way, and it was really, really nice. And I was actually shocked. I was blown away by the kind words. And I say all this humbly because there's a point and lesson to this. But I actually feel bad because I don't know if I responded really appropriately. I've never been talked to that way in such a positive light, at least not in a way that was believable, or that I believed, that I certainly believed. It was great, simply put, and it inspired me to kind of get this list underway. I know I did put it up to a poll as far as what we should do for this week, but I'm glad this specific topic won. Thank you to all who voted for the Life Teachers List. But it was a nice reminder to tell people how you really feel about them, to tell them, give them their flowers, I think is the way to do it. Give them their flowers while they're still here to appreciate it. I have been fortunate to have some really, really high quality people come through my life. Okay. I've also, like anybody else, have come through some very, very low quality people. But I look at life and social interactions from an analytical perspective, especially the last couple years, reading and learning and trying to understand people and certain behaviors and whatnot. But everybody who I have come across in my life, all right, now almost 34 years. I'd love to say that, but I look at all from an analytical perspective. Every single person that I've come across has been a teacher of sorts, some better than others. All right, they've taken some of the best qualities that I see in myself. I have taken from people around me. All right, very inspirational people. I'm going to give some of them their flowers today for my top 10 list. But also there's been some really bad ones, all right? And there's different ways to take bad qualities in people. There's bad teachers. One, you can look at somebody who has bad qualities or does bad actions and view it as something, some way that you just don't want to act like, all right? It's a lesson in, I don't want to be like that. So that's the teaching perspective. Or you view it as, I guess if this person's doing it, I can do it. And it begins this degradation of your soul to be dramatic about it. But you can start mimicking some of these bad actions and go down a dark path. And before you know it, you're imitating the worst qualities of certain people. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to have some good people. But everybody's a lesson. Every single person's a lesson. Every action that they do is a lesson. And those interactions, those social interactions, good or bad, are the building blocks of me. All right. Aside from the life lessons, the L's that we talked about last week, these qualities of people, these actions of people, are part of the building blocks that have made me who I am today. And this is why I want to give people the best ones. They're my highest regards. All right. And I think it's important to tell people, again, how much you appreciate them, how much they mean to you. because you don't know. One, you don't know what people are going through. All right, you'd be surprised how much a phone call like the one I received from a very good friend can mean. I mean, it changed my mood positively for like at least a few days. Like I got a few good days of like positive reinforcement that, hey, holy crap, I matter that much to somebody. Like it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable how much that phone call meant to me. And you'd be surprised how much a phone call or some kind words can mean to somebody else. Do it. Just don't wait and just do it. All right. Also, like looking at things through this analytical perspective and whatnot, I've been a little bit ignorant, I must admit, about the environments that we're a part of, okay, and how they affect us. The ignorance is that, like, you see people do bad things and they blame the village, right? It takes a village to raise a child, and they blame the village. They blame the environment they're around. And a younger, ignorant version of me was like, well, just make good decisions. Like, this doesn't seem right. But also, I realize that some people aren't as fortunate as I am, and the people that they are surrounded with. Some people are born into rough families, rough neighborhoods, and they really have no control of it from the get-go. People handed bad situations. I realize how fortunate I am as I take a step back and really look at the world around me, that I've had some good inspirations, good life teachers, but there's also a lot of people who haven't. And it's given me a sense of empathy for those who don't, because you start to understand why. And comparatively speaking, I'll give it an example. So at work, from about July to February of this past year, this current year, there was a stretch. We lost one of my really good bosses ended up retiring in June, and a new guy took over. And this guy was a great human being. I can't say enough good things about the human being of this boss. But as a boss, there was a lot of stuff lacking. And it turned into harboring an environment of just negativity. All right? And it changed me. I didn't even realize how much it changed me, but it changed me. It literally broke me. Is like this job that I used to love going to soon became like an emotional drag. Waking up for it was not as fun as it once had been, because every day you're coming in and it's a lot of complaining and negativity and negativity and negativity. And there's a correlation between weight gain and bad mood and just my motivation, my creative motivation took a dive. Going into the situation every day for at least 40 hours a week, sometimes if I was lucky overtime. But I became a product of my environment. And I didn't realize it until I got out. Until this boss, again, hate to see anybody get fired, but he was relieved of his position in February. And within a week, I was like back to being me. It was so easy to fall into the trap. All right, this negativity trap, and it became this habit, and it just consumed me. But that's where the lack of the new empathy, but the ignorance came from, because a lot of people don't know the kind of wild and wacky and horrible situation they're in until they get out and see that sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, or maybe like this situation that I was in, relationship, friendship, job, something, or it could be whatever, was not it. Like, it really was crazy. Like, I can't believe that this was, like, I viewed this as normal. That's life. That's progressing for life. And that's with the benefit of having good teachers around you. They make you see things a different way. All right, see things a lot better. That 7 month period, whatever it was, 6, 7, 8 month period of my job was bad, and I got caught up in the worst of it. But that's why I want to do this. That's why I want to do this show. I'm glad that, again, people selected it and voted for it, because I think it's important to celebrate these people, right? Tell these life teachers that have had a positive impact on our lives, big or small, deserve to be told how much they mean to you. All right. And some people are, not as receptive to this kind of thing as others. All right. There's got to be like the right mood and right situation. You can't just blurt it out in the middle of a Panera Bread or I don't know why I brought that up. Like, that came to mind, but it's got to be like this right conversation. But it is good. It is good to let those feelings out, because people deserve to know how much they mean to you. It really can make somebody's day. All right, so lessons from the list. Simply put, celebrate people. Tell them how much that they mean to you, okay? And don't be afraid to do so. I know it can be difficult. I've tried to tell people to their face how much they mean to me, and rejection, and it sucks. It stinks. But I still find a way. Actions, big or small, can really help illustrate how much somebody means to you, okay? Whether it's that face-to-face conversation that can be very uncomfortable. It could be a phone call, all right, like my very good friend did for me. Sometimes it's letters. I know it's a little old school, all right? It's a little archaic, draconian, but sending somebody a nice letter that they can read and within privacy and not have to, because emotions make a lot of people uncomfortable, but write them a nice letter, Facebook message, text message, email, something to drive home the point that you appreciate them. And do it within a reasonable time frame, because when you can't say thank you to somebody and tell them how much they meant to you, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. In fact, there's 2 people on my top 10 list that are no longer with us, that I will never get the chance to say these things to, but I still feel the need to say it for the sake of this video. But don't wait until it's too late, because regret can last a lifetime. And, there's a lot of people, aside from the 2 that are on my list, there's a lot of people who I wish I could say thank you to and tell them how much they meant to me, but I never got a chance. Just do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Just do it. The fact that, even if you get rejected in some form or sense, the fact that you were willing to try and do it is brave and deserves, deserves praise. But yeah, give them their flowers. And also, I think the other list too is, again, I brought it up at the top of the show, is look at everybody, good and bad, in your life that you've come across as a lesson. Take that analytical approach. All right, there's really good traits that can inspire us to be greater than what we are, and there's also the bad traits that we've mentioned too that can bring us down. Try to find the balance without losing yourself. And I think it's a big issue with a lot of people, that they're too much of a sponge and then they really truly lose themselves. But pick here and there. All right, this person does charity work. It's really inspiring. I'm going to go try that out. Or this person cleans up trash in a city block or something, and helps out the environment. Like, that's inspiring. It's little stuff you can do here and there to do good. So just look at everybody else as a lesson. All right, everybody is. Build yourself up to be a better version of yourself. Try your best to avoid the negativity and the corrupting traits and actions. Simply put, those are the lessons from the list. All right, here we go. My number 10 life teacher. He is unfortunately no longer with us, but he is my great uncle Pat, Patrick Johnson, and this guy is unfortunately, what past tense, but was, you know what, he is. He is the coolest thing. I've only met him like a handful of times, probably actually less than a handful, but in the way like our family dynamic works, right? So great uncle, he's my dad's, direct uncle, my grandfather's brother. But this guy, to me, like, he's the sun, all right, at the center of our family universe, because he made the most. I feel like he made the most out of his life. He lived an incredible life, all right? For those who don't know about Pat Johnson, he was a martial arts legend, and legit, like, I'm not even understating it. He was up there with some of the all-time greats. Like, you think of Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and so many others. My Uncle Pat was right there the whole time. And he's actually a very underappreciated part of pop culture. He was, I'm trying to think. Well, so he did a lot of fighting choreography. That was his probably main gig in Hollywood for many, many years. All right, so he was the fighting choreographer for the 90s Ninja Turtles movies. He's the fighting choreographer for Mortal Kombat, along with many, many other movies. He's also acted and did fighting choreography for the Karate Kid films. He was a part of Enter the Dragon. It's the Dough Roper. All right, one of the gangster guys. I'll actually put up an image. I'm not sure how this is going to edit, but I'll put up an image of him in some of those things. But he was in all of that. And the life lesson that I learned from this is the push for to live a great life. Like, it's not, obviously, this podcast, this video, a lot of the side hobbies that I've done, they haven't been a means of living, but this guy took a risk, right? He came home from Korea and took a bus trip with the last few dollars that he had, went out to California and he became a superstar. He paved this great life for himself and his family. And I think that's my favorite thing. Like, it's so inspirational. And not that I'm at the point right now where I could just hop on a bus and go to another state willy-nilly, but this constant drive to be great. I mean, this guy was a variety of things. Yeah, he was the ref in Karate Kid, and his IMDb page and Wikipedia page is wonderful. It's really cool to look at, and I invite you all to go and check it out. But just this constant strive for greatness, to be something more, right? He just didn't want to be a guy who worked a 9-to-5 job or whatever it was. He wanted to go and be special, stand out. And there's been a lot of cool people who have come out of my family, right? Maybe not the level of success that he's had, but one of my distant cousins, I believe, recorded an album in Nashville, all right, country music. And I know some other people, some great people who have succeeded well in the military. I know people who have done some extraordinary things, being chefs and so much more. And I apologize if I'm forgetting anybody, but a lot of people have, especially myself, have drawn inspiration to be something more. And my endless list of hobbies that I've done over the years, I think there's a part of it that stems from my great uncle Pat and what he did. Because the first time I seen his name in credits was the Mortal Kombat movie, and I was like, "What? This guy's my great uncle." And I've spent years bragging about him. Years. I almost feel guilty talking about him sometimes. But even from afar, even though I never got a chance to tell him, and even though I'd seen him maybe a few times, he great life teacher and just pushing and pushing and pushing. So that's my number 10. Number 9, this man is unfortunately also passed, but there was a short period of time where he was the best thing that ever happened to me in my pro wrestling career. Okay, and I'm still picking up on the lessons that he taught me, directly or indirectly, now today. But Brody Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber, variety of different names. He was a incredible professional wrestler, and more than that, an incredible dad and an incredible human being. Okay, I had known him, so I started wrestling training in 2010. And he was around and very, very intimidating because he had this long, bushy beard. He was just a gigantic man. And yeah, he was just a force of nature. Like one of those people you could just feel their aura, right? You could just, they had just this presence about them. And I was really fortunate because he was on his way out of the independent wrestling scene and going to WWE. And he started taking me under his wing a little bit, helping me. And this is something that I, like, looking back, like, Jesus, I probably didn't deserve, but he did it. And he, like, all my imperfections and whatnot, he tried to teach me as much as he could until he got sent down to NXT and eventually the main roster. But all that time, like, he never really complained about anything. And also he did the little stuff. Like, he, even as a vet who had been wrestling for a very long time, by the time he did get signed, he still did the little things. Ring crew, still picked it up. Because in pro wrestling, like, it's a lot about paying your dues and whatnot. And a lot of the younger guys, like, it's an expectation to help set up and break down the ring. Because time and you gotta be on, you're renting out buildings based on time and whatnot. Brody would be a guy who, to help motivate people to do it, would go pick up a corner post or go pick up ring ropes or help break down the ring so everybody can kind of go home. And he never forgot that, even at the highest level, that going to make a actual general living being a professional wrestler, he never forgot that. And the life lessons that I took from that is, one, to help people along, help as many people as you possibly can. All right. And I feel like I try to do that in podcasting and help giving people a place to record or giving them inspiration to go and pick up this wonderful hobby that I have. And to just stay humble. Like, remember being the little guy, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, he never got so big-headed that he wasn't picking up parts of the ring to break down. He wasn't, he never got so, he was never such, like, this big-headed egomaniac that he was like, I'm too good to do this, or I'm too good to do that. He stayed the same. He never changed. And there's a lot of times where, like, especially after I got out of pro wrestling, that I've felt like I let him down, like I kind of failed him. And that's a feeling that, people were like, yo, don't feel like that. But I do. There's a bit of guilt that comes with it. But also, like, again, I can't tell him this. Like, I can't tell him how proud I am of everything he's done and everything that he did for me. Because, again, even today, 13 years after, like, I had, like, a full-time interaction with him that on a regular basis, that I'm still picking lessons from it. And love the big guy, love Brody, love what he meant to me. That is my number 9. Number 8, it's not often that you look up to somebody who's younger than you, but I have to give a shout out to this young man. I'm so proud of him. I think in this day and age, too, as we get older and sometimes more conceited, a little bit more bitter, look to our young people, okay, and try and draw some inspiration and motivation from them. But this guy has a really good podcast. To me, he's the anchor of this studio right now, this Emerge Media Creators Co-op that I record out of every week. But his name is Jacob Lettieri. I'm going to say his full name because he does it every single week on his podcast. He runs the Tank Talk podcast, sports podcast to be specific, because there's a couple different Tank Talks, including an aquarium-based one. But Tank, as what we call him, Tank Jacob, has been better to me than I deserved. Okay, he's always reaching out. He's always wants to keep me around. And there's times where I don't love myself quite a bit. Like this December, I really pushed everybody away after the month that I had. And he was still keeping in touch. And this is my buddy who likes the Colts, all right, the same as I do. And even when I was just like, no, I don't want to hear this crap. I don't want to hear this crap. He was still reaching. He never gave up on me, which I always really appreciated from a character perspective. Because there's times where like people have like pushed me away, or I felt like they were pushing me away, and I just gave up on them, and it ended up leading to a lot of regret and uncomfortable conversations to repair that relationship. But Tank never gave up on me. So there's that inspiration of that he's not as bitter about these life, like the way that people have interacted with him. Where I've felt like, I've been spurned and burned and stabbed in the back so many times that you just become like it's nothing. But he didn't give up on me. And I thank him for that. And two, just his drive is being a podcast guy. Like, I'm so proud of how far his show has come. His Tank Talk show is everything that I wish my football podcast had been. All right. He's got YouTube subscribers, plenty of them. He's got great content, a fun core group of people who he can depend on. And he deals with the internet way better than I ever could. And he's reaped some very big rewards from that too. Just ask Giants fans what they think of the Tank Talk podcast, because they gave him a hard time, and he ended up winning in the end. That's for sure. But shout out to Tank Lettieri. Please subscribe to his channel, Tank Talk Sports Podcast. You can find it. They do go live on YouTube every single week, Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. So please go support them, him, his brother Bren, brother Anthony, and our mutual good friend Donnie. Please go support them. They do one heck of a job, that whole crew. So it's been number 8. Number 7. This guy I have. It's not like an on and off again kind of friendship, but even though we don't speak all the time, they're like, we can talk and chat and whatnot like we've never taken a break. It's really great. I want to give a shout out to my guy. His name's, we'll call him BJ. That's his name. I won't give his full name out, but you know what? He runs a company. I guess I can give him a full shout out. BJ Smith. What I've seen this guy do for the area is unbelievable, especially in a weird, like a unique market. Okay, so he started this group many years ago that I was a part of. I was an admin, and then I wasn't, and then I was, called Gameheads United, GHU. It's a wonderful Facebook group that really celebrates the love of video games. It gives everybody a platform, a opportunity to talk and meet with people who love video games. And he, not even meeting him in person when he first gave me the opportunities, but he opened up his world to me, and I learned so much about, just a way to operate as a human being, right? This guy he's one of those people like where he's so nice to everybody. People still find ways to criticize him and think he's like less than. This dude is so like one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. All right. And I get so excited when I see him drive around. So what he does now, he's turned this Facebook group into a business where he travels around. He has a trailer, a fully fitted trailer with TVs and video games, and he does like parties where he'll come and park his trailer out, and kids come and play video games for X amount of hours, and he turned it into a business. And he doesn't just do this for birthday parties. He does this for events, and I get really excited when I see his trailer driving around and whatnot. And he advertises like he does a good job advertising. He stays busy. Dude hustles. All right. He's got a regular job and he's got so many other side hustles, but this is like, it's so cool to see what he's done with video games, with especially like socially, like video games, like group get together video games. Because before this, he was running video game tournaments and all sorts of open video game nights at various bars. And it's really admirable to see. But he has, what has inspired me is, again, his work ethic, all right, his ability to turn something that maybe conceptually shouldn't have worked, but it does, because obviously he's still doing it many, many, many years later. And just how he moves through adversity and deals with criticism and still has a smile on his face and is the best version of himself. Shout out to BJ Smith. Go check it out. GHU, Gameheads United on Facebook, and he also has his video game trailer business. I can't remember the name specifically for it. I apologize, but making a lucrative business out of bringing people together through video games. I absolutely admire it. So that's my number 7. Number 6, this gentleman is also a creator and also very inspiring to me. And we have crossed paths many a time. And I am not as close to this individual as maybe I would like, but I want him to know that how much his life, the way he carries himself, inspires me and makes me strive to be a better person. I'd like to give a shout out to Kevin Bennett. Okay, this gentleman is first and foremost a great husband and dad. Okay, I will specify that, but he also great professional wrestler. In fact, I get mad when people don't get the opportunity, like when he doesn't get the opportunities that other people have, because he really is that talented and deserves so much more in a world of, pro wrestling. Like nobody really deserves anything, right? Nobody's entitled to anything. There's a lot of great people who just slip through the cracks, but Kevin Bennett is one of the few people who I feel like deserves an opportunity to be so much more. But I think he's happy where he's at, because this guy's also one of the most talented rappers I've ever seen. Like I think he's found a niche in like making video game, like hip hop rap music, and he has a YouTube channel. He's busy on TikTok, and he's still, from what I understand, busy with wrestling. I had the fortunate experience to be Kevin's first tag team partner in this promotion that we wrestled for here called Empire State Wrestling, ESW. And it's nice. Again, I don't see Kevin as often as I would like, but it's cool because every time I do come across him, he makes me feel like $1,000,000. Like he makes me feel important. He's like, he really tells me it's good to see you, and that emotion is definitely reciprocated back towards him. But much like my Uncle Pat and several other people, just his drive, his work ethic, and ultimately too, he's never let success change who he is. I think that's something that I have failed at many a times, and it's something I'm constantly working on to get better, but not letting success get to your head. He's incredibly humble. And this is like why I want to see him do good. Like he's somebody who you want to see do great things. And he is doing great things, but you want to see him kind of really get those flowers, not just from myself, but from other people. All right. He's really that good. So Kevin, shout out to you. You can find him on YouTube. He's made some great songs. My personal favorite is he did a Pokemon song, Pokemon rap, which he found a way to name drop all 150 or 151 original Pokemon, first generation, and it is incredible. So please go check it out. But shout out to you, Kev, and everybody that I've listed so far. Number 5, I will not do a full name for this one because he lives a private life, but I'm going to call him Coach DJ. I've had a lot of great coaches in my life, all right, especially sports ones. But, it's hard to say that some are better than others, but I have a lot to thank for this man, for my ability to be a better wrestler. All right. I talked last week about my loss to Angelo, all right, in wrestling, and how it helped me figure things out and be a better, it set my focus for my senior year to be the best version of myself. But I don't know. I mean, I had some great workout partners when it came to high school wrestling. Shout out to my buddy Kenny. But Coach DJ came aboard when I was a junior in high school. And he would stay late with me. He would work with me. He would wrestle with me every chance he got. I felt bad because I'd cross-face the crap out of him and bust his nose damn near every day. And it never bothered him. It never made him want to stop working out with me. And, this dude means so much to me. He gave me my first opportunity to coach wrestling as a volunteer coach. But it was that fact that he again did the extra work, stayed late with me, and wanted me to be the best version of myself. And he didn't just do that for me, he did that for everybody. And when he finally took over coaching wrestling at Niagara Falls, he never lost that. He never stopped giving people his all. And I always love that. If somebody's willing to be better, he was always there. He was always going to help guide. I mean, he had a wealth of knowledge, college experience, and so much more. And he was really, really good with kids, man. He was really, really good in not just making great wrestlers, but great people. And I am so fortunate to look back and say that this guy, he meant the world to me. He does. And shout out to Coach DJ. A lot of my success stems from him, and again, the inspiration is just helping people. If people want help them, and go the extra mile, and they will be forever grateful. And I am forever grateful for Coach DJ. I really am. He's done so much for me. All right, number 4. I know this man will be watching this show because he usually comments on my stuff. But I want to give a shout out to my friend Will Smith. No, not that Will Smith. Not the keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth Will Smith, but my good friend and also a fellow professional wrestler, Will. This relationship, this friendship is one of the coolest things for me because there was a point in time where I was attending local indie wrestling shows. Not that often, but enough. And I seen him perform. And I was like, God, that guy is so cool. He's just, when you talk about oozing charisma, and he does. He just does. It really is. They say a wrestling personality is yourself just dialed up to 10, and that is him. It maybe even be, in his case, times 20. I love that, and I'm not trying to be oh, you're old. All right, he's been doing this for a long time, and even when he steps away, because I think he's retired at least 3 or 4 times by now, but he still finds new ways, ways to reinvent himself, and also he still finds fun in doing it. He does it out of love, and I've needed help with that a lot. When it comes to podcasting and various things, I get so wrapped up in numbers. And I was just talking to a friend about this today, but I always get so wrapped in numbers that it almost becomes like a sickness, that you're doing stuff for the wrong reasons. He still stays around wrestling because he loves it, and he loves the promotion that he actually helped build up and create many years ago. And he does it out of love for the younger guys and wants it to be kept in good hands. And this guy is, even still doing this for over 20 years, is still one of the best guys in this area. Still can go, and nobody can touch him on a microphone. Nobody can handle character to character. Nobody can beat him out. But again, it's really cool for me to have this relationship with this guy that I looked up to as a fan, or as a mark, as we like to say in the wrestling business. And now we're super tight. And, we've done a lot of podcasting stuff together. Every chance I get, I try to go out and eat and just hang out with him. And even though, like, we're not seeing each other as often as we did maybe a year ago, the interactions, the texts, the everything in between has meant so much to me. But yeah, the inspiration, really, the life lessons is just to find the love. Like, do things out of love. If you're gonna do something, do it out of love, not for, not for the financial reward, because Lord knows that indie wrestling does not pay a livable wage. That's for sure. But just doing things because you love them. All right, and good things will happen. And his love, his charisma, he oozes charisma, but he also oozes love for professional wrestling. And I'm so glad to see that he's still doing it and doing it at a very high level. Very proud of you, buddy. So thank you for inspiring me to do better. I should just tell this to your face as well, but I'm going to give you your props over YouTube. All right, my number three. My number three is the guy who runs this studio here, Emerge Media Creators Co-op. His name is, I guess I can say his full name, but Rich Moranto. And this man was my media productions teacher back in high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And this, like, it was so cool and fresh to be a part of a class and a course like the one he taught. Because you hear school and it's like, okay, math, science, social studies, phys ed, but I was in a media production class in a studio that he built. Like, he did this. See, there was no precursor, there was no model for a TV school station to operate, and he did it built it up from the ground up. And a lot of basically the way he operated his studio was the way I operated my small rinky-dink studio in North Tonawanda. I wanted it to be a fun, welcoming place, not too serious, but I wanted, everywhere you look, there's like some kind of story to tell, something to talk about, something to see, some new detail that maybe you missed out before and now you discovered it. Like, it's like it gives a room character. And everything I am as a creator, like podcasting, doing this video stuff now, it stems from everything I learned from him in high school. And it's been this back and forth kind of, we're learning off of each other all the time. And now, I'm in full student mode when it comes to him, because he has this wonderful studio that I'm at that is everything that I ever dreamed and hoped for my own studio. Like, I'm so happy that, that I could see him bring this vision to life, and he's doing so good with it. Like, not just good, great with it. He's bringing all sorts of people together in this studio, this wonderful community he has, and he's constantly pulling just not just the podcasting community, but our city community together. Like, the variety of people that he works with is on a regular basis is just incredible. And this man had one of the shortest retirements ever. He retired from teaching after a very long career, very successful career where he's impacted so many students' lives. And then he dove headfirst into this. And he thanks me all the time for giving me the inspiration, but also I don't know if he's thanking me for all the long hours he spends doing podcasting and video editing and stuff too, sarcastically. But in all seriousness, this man has given his all for students, for people. And, his whole life has been about giving from everything that I've seen. And, his kids reflect that. All right, I know his boys, Zach and Christian, relatively well. And they are such doers, and they're so good at giving back, which is great. There's a lot of times where, like, I see him working with people, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I would have had the patience to do this. And Moranto's, he's going strong. He's, again, doing this for a long time, and the respect that he has from students and peers is unmatched from anything I've ever seen before. And it teaches me, again, well, still just much like my friend Will and some other people, just continue to do stuff that you love, but also help people. All right, just be good to people and help people. Be the best version of themselves, and it's rewarded tenfold. All right, seriously, like he's still connected with students that he taught 15, 20 years ago, including myself. Like our friendship, he could have just been just another guy, just another teacher that I've had over the years. But our friendship has persevered, and I'm glad it's grown from a student teacher relationship to, okay, we're tight. We're like this. We're like this. We can go out and have dinner and whatnot together and talk about certain things and learn from each other. So shout out to Mr. Moranto, Rich Moranto. Make sure you go find ways to support Emerge Media Creators Co-op. There's websites. There's all sorts of things, all sorts of ways to support. Even just a subscription to YouTube channels that stem out of here is a way to support. All right, my number 2. We're getting into the top 2 selections that I have are family related. And again, I don't want any family members to see this and hear this and be like, why am I not on this list? It's not a knock. It's not a knock at all. But I got to give a shout out to my Uncle Rich, okay? He's been like a second dad. Not that I've needed a second dad, but I am so grateful that I've had the ability to have like that second dad-like figure in my life, and happens to be my dad's brother. God, he is like, every time I ask him to ask him to help out or do something or be somewhere, he's there without question. Unless he's really, really tied up in something, he'll be there. All right. Whether it was video game nights, okay, like, which was the coolest thing, just seeing him pull out, just excited to see him. Wrestling pay-per-view events. He doesn't even watch wrestling full time, but he would still come up to hang out with me and my friends and whomever and watch wrestling and just enjoy it and be a part of it. Even dating back to high school, like he was at every like wrestling match, every sporting event that I was at. He even traveled with my mom, dad, brother to the state championships, New York State championships. He, when I was wrestling in college and made it to college nationals, he went with my dad and brother all the way to Iowa in a car, 13, 14-hour car ride, and drove out there just to watch me wrestle. And I will always appreciate that. I can go on and on. Just the amount, just how much he's chosen to be a part of my life and still be active in it, and shout out to my Aunt Lisa too. Like, I got to give her a lot of props. She's been a fantastic, all my aunts and uncles have been fantastic. My Aunt Lisa watches the show all the time and comments and whatnot. I'm super appreciative of it. I love her creative energy. That it's been very inspiring. She's great at making cakes, and she's actually really fantastic artist. Like, she can draw really, really good. But I got to put Uncle Rich here at number 2, just because he just gives people his all. And even when he's sometimes exhausted and maybe overruns himself sometimes, he gives people his all. And I've never had to question where I stand with him. He's been so good to me. Oh, and most importantly, always there. So the lessons I've learned from him is to just be there for people. Be there no matter what, and give your all. Sometimes, again, it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming, overstimulating, but if you can, be there for people, because I hope I get the opportunity to be an uncle like that someday. I really, truly do. He's just endless props for him. Love you to death, Uncle Rich, and thank you for being a great life teacher. I only skimmed the surface on what he's taught me. And number 1, my mom and dad. Number 1 is my mom and dad. They created me. They gave me life. They gave me the opportunity to be here, and I'm so grateful for my mom and dad. I really, truly am. I had to put them as a tie. Like, I can't put one over the other. They're everything. And, there's so much that I've taken from them. And not in a negative light, but everything I want to be and don't want to be as a parent stems from them. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong in the way that they raised me, but there's like different philosophies that I feel like I could build off of and do better that they, that they had in my childhood. But my parents were so supportive. Like, I have no complaints, even if they didn't fully understand something or a choice that I was making or some hobby that I was doing. They were still there for me, asking a lot of questions and again, not fully understanding why it meant so much to me, but they were still there. And as a child, that's the one thing like you can always want is your parents to be there. Going through high school, I know, and not to be judgmental, but some people just didn't have the relationship with their parents that I did. Senior nights and whatnot, being celebrated on senior night for various sports and seeing kids' parents that weren't there. And it made me sad. The kids were almost numb to it, which was a culture shock for myself. But like, I always felt like there was times where I felt weird that my parents were at everything. But now that I look back, and even in the moment, I should have realized this, but like how loved that I am. Like it's great. My mom, my mom and dad would come to every sport, like every match I had, whether it was off season, whether it was, in season, they were there. They were there supporting it. At least one of them were. All right. Shout out to my dad who would take off of work to go and travel with me to various wrestling tournaments. Like, that's incredible. I'm so fortunate that he was, well, one, he had a boss that let him do that. And he always tells me that they didn't exactly like when he did it, but that he was willing to risk his employment to be there for me. And, there's times he would travel with me to be a chaperone for my tournaments in like Rochester. Was that Outer Banks? No, not Outer Banks. Thousand Islands. He'd go with me to that. Fredonia and all these very far away places. He'd be there for me. And then my mom, just this endless love and support. Like, no matter how bad I felt about something, she was like my number one cheerleader. Always. There'd be times where she'd just be screaming and yelling nonstop from the stands at my wrestling shows or wrestling events, wrestling matches, tournaments, and I'd be like, oh God, it's so excessive. But also, she was there for me. She was proud. She didn't care what anybody else thought about how proud that she was vocalizing about being, proud of me. So I can go on and on. I will elaborate further on them when it comes to Mother's Day and Father's Day. I'm going to have specific lists for them where I can actually talk excessively about how much they've meant to me. But there it is, everybody. My top 10 life teachers. Thank you to all who have been, not just these top 10 selections and technically 11 people, but everybody who's come across my life, been a part of my life. Good and bad, you have all helped make me a much better person. And again, I can't say enough thanks. But that is it. We'll close up shop on this episode. I thank you so much for tuning in as always. And don't forget, go make your own top 10 list and start telling people how much that they mean to you. Just do it. Seriously. Do it and don't leave any room for regret. Seriously. So thank you so much. And until next time, do you even list?